I am Orwin Avalon. I wanted to speak about a very delicate subject, which is also that it is speaking about something that seems to be absolutely impossible to most of human beings. And this question is immortality possible in a physical body? You know that all human beings have one big fear, even if they deny it, and this fear is about dying. So if people have the wish, the fear of dying, their greatest wish is not to die. But the idea is that if everything that we have inside, we have it because it's possible. Otherwise, it would not exist. And so you know that through technology, many people are trying to find solutions that some very rich people who I said were before dying were put into a special refrigeration and that would their coffin would be open in, I don't know, 20, 30 years because they hope that in the future it will be possible that science will have found a solution to this. So it's very, very funny that in the same time we attend a world situation where it seems that they cannot face a little virus, but they want to find immortality. So there is a big sense of humor in all this, but of course we have to read under the lines and see that there is a big difference between the real state of science and what the government show us about the state of science. Science is much more advanced than we think, and probably the richest people on this planet have the hope that the solution will be found in not such a long time. And there are many, many things to say about this that, of course, I cannot approach in a public video. Anyway, you know, all this is an external research. I mean, many people look for external solution. The idea is that in reality, the only real solution are not external, they are internal. What does it mean internal? You know, the idea is that each human being is a parcel of the whole. The definition of the whole, or what some people call God, that I like better to call the whole because God has so many, deformations. So what happened is that the whole is everywhere in the same time. The whole is the center of creation, the center of everything that exists, and the center of ourselves. So if we reverse the situation, the whole, or God, is inside ourselves, but we're also inside him. And if we find a way to become one with God, which is the only reality, so we go into reality. And the other definition of the divine is that the divine has no beginning and no end. So when we reach this unification with the divine, we will not have either beginning nor end, and then, of course, we'll be immortal. So the part of us which is one with the divine, which we call the higher self, this one is already immortal, doesn't have any beginning or end, because it's one with the whole, whose characteristic also is not to have any beginning or no end. So it's absolutely fantastic, because in this case, the work is to strengthen more and more and more and more our connection to our higher self, and through our higher self to the whole. And it's very magnificent, so that the people would say, oh, okay, but your higher self doesn't have, will not guarantee yourself that you will become immortal in a physical body. If your higher self is immortal, what about your physical body? And if you become one with your higher self, it doesn't mean your physical body will become immortal. And why your physical body would become immortal? What is the sense? Doesn't have any sense. You know, I think so. So the idea is how to increase this connection with our higher self, and how to make our physical self become one to the higher self. And then something will happen. We don't know exactly what, but we cannot exclude that this what would be something that would have important effects on not only on our physical body, but on the physical plan, on the earth itself, and maybe in all the physical creations in the universe, maybe, because everything is one. We must say that a human being has a very strange characteristic. You know, it is as if we had been imprisoned into a matrix. And this matrix is an incredible program which make that human beings absolutely don't believe in the abilities that they have inside. And you know, the more everything was made to focus human being on external things, the least human being would be able to find, to have access to their inner, wonderful, fantastic, extraordinary potential. So our purpose is to do everything to recuperate this fantastic potential. This is also the work of many magnificent beings on this planet. This is the work, for example, of Sri Aurobindo and Mer. There is much to say about this. My spiritual master, Omra Mikhail Ivanov, I remember perfectly a conference where he said that immortality in a physical body is possible, but people who would start to bring this, to make this possible on Earth, have to be, to have been chosen for this, and they have to be born with this program. Anyway, I think we are into an extraordinary turning point, and that this turning point has for purpose to change radically all our vision of what is life, of what is our life, or what are our possibilities, and what is our purpose on this planet. So at this point, it's very fantastic to let's say, to think of how to work to increase this connection with the higher self. And I think first, we should have to ask to go out of the matrix. This is very important. Then, you know, it's impossible to go out of the matrix going from down to up. It's not possible because it's like a big bubble and there is only one way to escape the bubble. And this one way is our pranic tube. Because in the pranic tube, you have the connection with the whole universe. We have a pranic tube, we have, let's say, a conduct that is allow us to bring prana into our physical body. And this is absolutely the main element for attracting life within ourselves. In reality, everything is life. So death is not the negation of life. Death is only the proof that we still have very much to learn and very much to transform. And but I think the only possibility to make this turning point is to work from up to down. So it means from at a certain moment, we'll have to work from our higher self down to the physical body. And this means to have found tools in order to identify ourselves to the divine through our higher self. This is the purpose of the Merkaba meditation, Merkaba Matrimandir meditation, is to reconnect our connection with the whole. And from there, from the point of view of unity, from a point of view of unification with the whole, really bring life into ourselves and bring life into everything that exists on this planet, because everything is one. And this is an incredible change. It's really bringing things from down to up, not from up to down, but down to up. And you know, our higher self knows everything, can everything. And then if the transformation that may appear into our physical body will be graduate. I think first, besides working with our higher self, we have to work with the energy of life. Life is everywhere. Life is everything. So in our work, we are invited to work with the flame of everlasting life, with the flame of eternal life, because this is the food that we need in order to expand our consciousness and change the reality of our physical body and free ourselves from the bubble, from the matrix. So then we have to work with our cells, because if we don't work with the cells of our physical body, how can life will overcome death into the physical body? So this is also the reason we work completely with the flame of the eternal life, because the nucleus of the cells of our physical body is pure life. And we have to unify the external flame with the inner flame. In reality, there are three flames. One is external, One is external and internal. It is the one from our higher self. And one is internal. It is the flame that is slipping into the nucleus of our cells. And we have to wake up this pure life flame that occupy the nucleus of our cells. And so you understand that doing the unifying those three sources of life, something very fundamental will happen in our own life. So I repeat, it's extremely important. The flame of eternal life, which is, let's say, an external source. The flame of a higher self, that is an internal source, which is making the link with internal and external, and the flame of ourself, which is internal. In reality, everything is one. There is no external, no internal, and so no link. But we need, being in a physical body, we are so much, let's say, used to see things as external, internal, unification. So it's a language that we can understand better. So we are really able to awaken life inside ourselves, inside our physical body, but this will be made from up to down. And there are tools from them. And of course, first we have to get rid of everything that is making death strong within ourselves. So this is why we always start working with cleansing the memories, the low memories of suffering from our past. So we cleanse the past from everything from which we suffered. So it is the energy of death. The more we clean the past from death, the more we bring life into our future. And there is also a fantastic work to unify inside past and future into our present, because this radical change of consciousness can be made only in present. And so these are the different steps: cleansing, unifying with the higher self, unifying the higher self with the whole, bringing the energy of life into the cells, awakening the immortality into the cells. And all this is made only through love, because only love can bring and keep the light fixed in our cells. And only when our physical body will be totally enlightened through the flame of everlasting life, only then the matter will be liberated completely from the matrix. It's absolutely fabulous to think that we are in jail on earth, but this jail doesn't exist. The jail is only based on mental manipulation and emotional manipulation that we received from people who had were, let's say, infiltrated by entities that wanted to keep humanity into slavery. So now our work is to go out from slavery, but everything comes from inside. Everything is made of internal transformation, and we are absolutely able to do it, but this requires really, how to say, a sequence, a protocol, a specific path, because, you know, when you want to climb a mountain, you cannot go like this from one path to the other. No, the more you need to go to the top, the more you have to have a good equipment, you have to be strong inside, you have to be prepared, you have to be cleansed, you have to have studied the past really, and to know exactly the strategies. Same thing when you are a navigator, you have absolutely to know the way, and you have to know how to sail. So we cannot only expect that the divine will do things for us. Because it should have been done for a long time. I think the divine is waiting for us to become physically prepared, emotionally washed or cleansed, mentally purified, and spiritually unified with the energy of the whole. And then something extraordinary will happen. What will happen be immortality in a physical body? I think everything is possible, but what is sure, if immortality would happen in a physical body, then you understand that we will not need anymore to have children. We don't die. So we have children for the species to continue. So it means that, you know, this total illumination of the physical body, when it will spread from one person to 10 to 100 to 1,000, will literally change the physical body. This light is already inside, but this light hasn't been, let's say, liberated yet. The liberation of this light will liberate ourselves from any kind of slavery. And we attend now on this planet the big fight between slavery and liberation. And I think also humanity is passing a very important exam. And this exam is the exam about freedom. Do we want freedom individually? Or I think that if we want freedom, we will not accept anything that will bring us into slavery individually, and that will attend to our physical body, because our physical body is a sacred temple of the divine. So we cannot accept our physical body to be manipulated by external people. And then collectively, will humanity accept a dictator, or will go into a system that will let them express better and better their freedom. This is the key point. It is, for me, we are all passing a very important exam on Earth. And freedom is also immortality, because when we become immortal, we don't have this terrible pressure of death, which is something completely crazy, because, you know, when we think of this, we die, we have forgotten everything. We have to learn to go to school, we start to try to make again the pieces of the puzzle of life going together, and then we arrive at a certain time, we have reached a certain level of wisdom, and we have to die again, and then we'll have to come back and start everything again. All this doesn't have any sense. It is a craziness. It is part of the matrix. The matrix is that human beings are condemned to start again the same things, with little hope of escaping of this tragic fatality. And for me, this is a matrix, because our divine part cannot be dominated by such stupid and incoherent laws. So this is why I'm sure that we are going into exam, that each one of us is facing this exam, that the politicians, for example, are the examinators, you know, the people who are watching about the student when they spend their exam, they are very rarely sympathical, they are very severe. So this is what we're facing. And for me, the key, the individual and collective decision for the turning point that we are facing is bringing us into a new kind of reign that will be based on immortality. They will make our body coming into total illumination. This illumination will change the structure of the physical bodies. It will change completely the structure of matter. Matter will be revealed at itself, and the revelation of matter will show that death doesn't exist. Absolutely. Death was an illusion. Death was a matrix. And then there will be unification between internal divine power and external illusion that is based on the appearance of death, that will disappear, and that will be replaced that by this extraordinary, let's say, it's like an incredible source of water, which will be a source of pure life, that will come from the flame of everlasting life, that will change radically everything within ourselves, and that will bring any individual and the collective consciousness and the planet itself into a new world, literally a new world. This is an apocalypse. This is the divine revelation. When will it happen? It doesn't matter, because the only thing that matters is what we are doing now, each one of us in its own life, with its own cells, with this the flame of the eternal life. And this is why we have to work on ourselves, but it's not a work, it's a joy. You know, to bring life, to bring light, to bring love, to unify all the qualities of the divine inside ourselves is only a pure marvel. And at this time, when we work, when we start working, when we continue working this way, ourselves start singing all the time. Everything becomes music within ourselves. And so this brings us into happiness. And happiness is the real state that is expecting us outside of the matrix. But inside, it's pretty complicated, you know, because everything, new things are happening and bringing you into what we call reality, but it's not reality. It's the mess of duality. And the mess of duality because the matrix is, let's say, the word of resistance. The resistance is when the light is all the time conflicted with the shadow. But we are so overcoming the shadow inside is bringing the integrality of life, is bringing a new word, is bringing us into immortality, and is making from this immortality another word. But so I think it's possible, but in this case, what we call the physical world will be no more physical, and we are opening up. And many people have done it before, and it's a continuation. New chapters of the history of humanity are now into writing, and each one of us is a letter in this wonderful writing. So let's work together, and thank you for having shared this moment with me. And we have to work anyway. It's very important. We are all soldiers. We have to become soldiers for the light, because slavery and darkness and resistance and opposition are very extremely heavy to handle for human beings. We absolutely have to work for another reality. The steps for immortality, the step to follow is first, purification, cleansing. Second, harmonization. Third, mental peace. Fourth, regeneration. We have to teach ourselves to regenerate. 5, once we have gone into regeneration, then we go into rejuvenation. We can reverse, this is absolutely fantastic, the time. And when we cleanse our past, we can start going back into our past and find the memories of when we were younger. And we can bring this past into our future. And from the future, we can bring it into the present, going from the past to the future and so on. And because this is a great key for transformation. And the last step is immortality. But we have to complete the other steps in order to make the immortal memories of the nucleus of ourself come out. Thank you very much.